We know everybody's been waiting to hear about it. Everybody's on the edge of their seat, and we wanted to wait to break this news on the show, but reports have already started to leak out.
Yes, everybody already knows about it, man.
The Kelce brothers just dropped the most chaotic episode of their podcast in months, and they opened it by doing something that has the entire internet in tears. They officially declared their mother's home renovation the biggest news story of the last week. Not Travis signing a new contract, not free agency opening, not any of the massive trades that happened across the league. The biggest story, according to the two most famous brothers in America, is Donna Kelce replacing 9 windows and 6 doors in her Orlando home. And the way they said it tells you everything about this family. Let's get into it.
So Donna's changed. 9 windows and 6 doors, Mom? Really? We are that spoiled now? You got to do all your windows in that condo?
So here's the backstory for anyone who missed it. A major celebrity news outlet ran a breaking news report over the weekend that Donna Kelce is remodeling her modest Florida home. According to official records, she hired a company to replace 9 windows and 6 doors at her 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom property, a 1,400-square-foot house she bought for $355,000 back in 2019. The deed reportedly states the property will be passed down to both Jason and Travis, and that was the whole story. Windows, doors, a house worth less than a single month of Travis's new contract. The internet absolutely lost it, not because the story mattered, but because it was so perfectly meaningless that everyone decided to treat it like the biggest scandal of the year. One person asked why they haven't released the name of the tile and color of the grout, and what are they hiding? Someone else said they'd been worried about Donna's doors and windows all weekend, and we simply can't move on from this.
Donna went viral over the weekend because TMZ reported that she is remodeling her 2-bedroom Florida home by adding 9 new windows and 6 new doors. Quite specific. Well, I was like,
when Travis's return to the Chiefs was reported on the same day, one fan wrote, "Honestly, this feels so secondary to Donna getting new doors and windows." Even the Empire State Building's official account congratulated Donna on her remodel. The meme got so big that Jason couldn't resist. He posted a message quoting the original headline and wrote, "Breaking, sources confirm Donna Kelce's eldest son watched 2 hours of Bluey yesterday." The New Heights podcast account turned it into a fake breaking news graphic, formatted exactly like the original outlet, and it got over 45,000 likes on Instagram. Donna shared it on her own story without confirming or denying anything. And then on the podcast that just dropped, the March 11th episode, they made it official. The episode description literally lists the Donna Kelce home renovation as, quote, "the biggest news story of the last week," unquote. That's how the Kelce brothers introduced their mother replacing windows to their millions of listeners as the biggest story in America. Bigger than Travis coming back. Bigger than free agency. Bigger than the league's Super Bowl MVP signing a $45 million deal.
We got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Donna Kelce is remodeling her modest Florida home. Let's give it up for Donna.
Mama.
Give it up for Mama Kelce.
Mama. I told her if she needed me to screw some door hinges in, I could have done it for her, but I guess she wants to do the whole remodel.
Donna's doors won the week, and Travis himself addressed it during his appearance on a major sports show earlier in the week. He said he didn't even know his mother was doing these renovations. And then he added, if she needed a guy to come screw some door hinges in, she could have just called him.
Can you please post the renovations that your mom's doing?
Please.
You already know. I didn't even know she was doing these things. If she needed a guy to come, screw some door hinges in, she could have just called me. But I guess she's doing a big, massive renovation.
This man went on national television to discuss his $12 million contract and his decision to return to professional football. And somehow the funniest moment was him offering to drive to Orlando and install his mother's new doors. That's the Kelce family. That's the energy Taylor Swift is marrying into. And that's exactly why the internet can't get enough of them. Now, once the laughter settled, Travis got serious. And what he revealed on this week's episode about his decision to return is the most detailed and honest breakdown he's given anywhere. More than the sports show appearance, more than the social media posts. This is the full story of how Travis Kelce decided to come back for one more year. He told Jason that he knew he wanted to come back about midway through the season. Midway through. That means while fans were debating retirement, while insiders were speculating about broadcasting careers, while the Giants rumor was building steam, Travis already knew.
At what point did you know for sure you were coming back?
About midway through the season.
Jason immediately asked the obvious question, so what were you waiting on then? And Travis said something that shows you exactly how much he's matured. He said he was taking Jason's advice. He said Jason told him to step back, let the emotions clear, and make the decision with a clear head. He said he's made decisions based on emotion before, and they haven't always played out the right way.
So what were you waiting on then?
You know, I think I was taking Jason Kelce's advice. I was taking the advice to take a step back because you got to let the emotions clear and you got to have a clear head. I've made decisions based off of emotions and, you know, they haven't always played out the right way.
So he waited. He let the frustration from the 6-11 season settle. He let the noise die down. And when his head was clear, the answer was exactly what it had been since October. He's coming back.
How did I feel going into this year versus coming out of this year and where my body was at? And, you know, even letting it kind of settle, it still felt like I was hungry enough to get back at it. And I think taking a step back, letting the emotions settle down, the frustrations from the season. Of course I want to come back. Of course I don't want to end my career not making the playoffs and not having one of the best years.
And then he said the line that has every Chiefs fan fired up. He said he wants to make it right. He said he wants another chance at another Super Bowl. The way he said it wasn't casual. It wasn't diplomatic. It was raw.
I don't want to get another chance at another fucking Super Bowl, man. There's still a little bit of that grit and that emotion that, you know, I fucking hated the way that shit ended last year. And I want to do this. I want to make it right, you know?
This is a man who went from 3 championships in 5 years to watching the playoffs from his couch for the first time in a decade. That doesn't sit right with someone who's competed at that level for 13 years. And Travis made it clear he's not coming back for a farewell tour. He's coming back to win. He also shut down the idea that outside factors influenced the decision. He said he knew Mahomes would be Mahomes and work his tail off to get back from the knee injury. He knew Coach Reid would make adjustments. He knew the GM would bring in the best players possible. He knew the returning offensive coordinator, one of his favorite coaches of all time, would be back in the building. But he said he deliberately stepped away from all of that because it adds to the emotion of wanting to play. He didn't want the excitement of roster moves and coaching hires to cloud the decision.
I knew Coach Reid was going to make adjustments. I knew Veach is going to do his best to get the best guys in here. I knew that Pat was going to be Pat and he's going to work his fucking tail off to get back and be at his best. I knew that was a no-brainer. We've got Eric Bieniemy, one of my favorite coaches of all fucking time, coming back into the building. But outside of, I wanted to take a step back from all of that because that adds to the emotion of wanting to play again.
Sure.
He wanted to make sure the desire to play came from inside, not from the hype around him. And then he talked about what happens next. And this is where you can hear the intensity building. He said this isn't just an in-season commitment. He said he truly believes you need an entire off-season to get the body and mind ready for training camp alone. He talked about building armor of toughness through training camp that carries you through the season. He said he's already texting teammates. He said he's ready to get this thing going. He's excited for OTAs. He wants to mold this team and get the mentality back to where it needs to be. The hunger is real. The determination is back. And the man who was supposedly on the fence about retirement sounds like someone who's about to run through a wall.
It's not a just in-season thing. It's something that I truly believe you need an entire offseason to get the body, the mind ready for training camp alone. And then training camp, you start to get that wear and tear and like you kind of build your own armor of toughness to like get you through the season. I'm feeling excited. Been texting with a few of the guys on the team, just, you know, ready to get this thing fucking going, man. It's a year-long thing that I'm excited to get going, and I'm excited to be around the guys when OTAs come around.
Now here's the wild card that nobody saw coming on this episode, because the Kelce brothers didn't just talk football. They brought in one of the biggest names in entertainment, a comedy legend, an Oscars host, a fellow podcaster who just happens to be hosting the Academy Awards this Sunday, 4 days after sitting down with Travis and Jason. They talked about his preparation for hosting the biggest awards show on the planet. They talked about his rocky early days in late-night television. They talked about his favorite stories from the golden age of comedy, including one about a legendary comedian that apparently had the room in tears. They discussed his best advice for how to become a better interviewer, which is relevant because the Kelces are now running one of the most popular podcasts in the country. And they got into his greatest athletic achievements, which apparently exist and apparently are hilarious. The crossover is what makes this interesting. One of the most iconic entertainers in television history sat down with the two most famous brothers in sports, 4 days before he hosts the Oscars and 3 months before one of those brothers marries the most famous woman on the planet. The worlds are colliding. The entertainment industry and the NFL and the music industry are all converging on the same family, and the Kelces are sitting in the middle of it, treating their mother's door replacement as the biggest story of the year. And here's what Travis confirmed without saying a single word about the wedding. He said he needs an entire off-season to prepare his body. He said he's excited for OTAs, which typically start in late May. He said he wants to be around the guys when team activities begin. Chiefs' mandatory minicamp usually falls in mid-June. The wedding is reportedly June 13th. That means Travis is planning to participate in off-season workouts through May, get married on a Saturday on a beach in Rhode Island, and report back to the team within days. The contract was built around this timeline. The Chiefs knew. The GM said publicly there's no rush. The coach said communication is happening. Everything about this deal, the one-year structure, the $12 million base, the incentives, was designed to accommodate a wedding in the middle of the off-season program. Travis Kelce knew he was coming back since October. He waited 4 months to announce it because his brother told him to let the emotions settle. He turned down more money from other teams to stay loyal. He offered to install his mother's door hinges on national television. He sat across from a comedy legend 4 days before the Oscars and treated it like a normal Tuesday. And somewhere in the middle of all of this, between the memes and the contracts and the podcast and the off-season workouts, he's 93 days away from marrying Taylor Swift. The Donna Kelce renovation is still the biggest story of the week. Travis said so himself. And honestly, after everything that's happened in the last 7 days, the contract, the interviews, the Conan crossover, the confirmation that he knew since mid-season, the fact that the Kelce family can still make the entire internet laugh about windows and doors is exactly why we can't look away. This family is the best content on the internet. And in 93 days, Taylor Swift officially joins it. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.